So when I arrived in the US yesterday morning, the immigration officer asked me the purpose of my visit here and what I did for a living. And I wanted to say to him, I wanted him to write down on the form, integrated communications. But in truth, it's becoming increasingly hard for many of us in the business to describe our roles within the traditional definitions of marketing or PR. Yet probably what unites most of us here today is that we still believe passionately in the high standards and values that define the profession of public relations. So this morning I'm going to give you my perspective on why the inevitable integration of communications is not the threat that many in the PR industry are speculating, but in fact presents a major opportunity for our profession. So the concept was relatively simple. Tell better stories about our brands and our products enabled by a seamless flow of information that starts from the inception of the first idea for a vehicle right the way through to when it hits the showroom floor. Because our stories were not getting the coverage and were not being covered in the depth that we thought they deserved to, we got into the business of effectively storytelling ourselves. It is a controversial topic in and of itself. The whole notion of brand content or native content, I think it's called, is some journalists are a little resistant to this because they think brands are taking over the airwaves. I think frankly that's bollocks. I mean, I think in the end, no one's forcing you to watch this. This will live and die on its own strengths and interests. So if we're just chatting away to ourselves in hyperspace, it won't last very long. So first target was media. We're hoping now to pick up more general consumer audiences, and that's why we're starting to experiment in a little bit more longer form storytelling, getting more into features that don't necessarily have a hard news angle, but tell a story, like how we create a product, how a car is designed, how we test vehicles, behind the scenes of motorsport. So it might not necessarily generate a story. I mean, and we fight every day. I mean, we'll have some guy in a remote country who doesn't like innovation, excitement, wants to create his own tagline or wants to do his own thing, and there's a little bit of carrot and stick involved in keeping everyone on board.